Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Sean, and welcome to this week's video of Death Church Radio Podcast, and also known as the Sean C. Stookie Show. And I put out a video on this channel once every Sunday, and then I throw in some money every week from my paycheck to promote it by sending the video through pin marks on Facebook to different places in the world. Mostly send it into third world countries, which I guess doesn't make too much sense because you would assume that they wouldn't have access to the internet. But hey, I like to try to touch the untouched regions. So what I wanted to talk about for the video today is originally I was planning on going over another book or another topic like what I did last week. I even thought about possibly putting up a video of the Bible pooling episode that I did on Wednesday where I went through Genesis, I believe Genesis 12 to 13. And if you guys are not familiar with that, I go live on Facebook, or I just do the video on my computer and throw it only on my Facebook channel. Where my friends are at. Usually I'll go live on there, and then I do 2 pages out of the Bible of going through basically one chapter of the Bible, starting with Genesis to Revelation. But anyways, excuse me, I actually didn't have a lot of time this weekend because I have been gone. Sorry, I'm going to turn that air conditioner off. I've actually been gone for the whole weekend. I just got back about maybe 2 hours ago from seeing my, I guess you would call her my part-time girlfriend now. She's not my lady friend anymore. But, which didn't give me that much time to prepare for a video, and also being that I'm very exhausted. So for today's video, it's going to be a short one. I'm going to be talking about the debate that I listened to while driving back from Phoenix, coming back to where I live here in Tucson. And I listened to the debate, just going to go over a few points of things that I thought about the debate that happened on Friday night, which was between, it was called Happiness, Capitalism versus Marxism, of Slavoj Zizek, Dr. Zizek, versus Dr. Jordan Peterson. And it was incredibly enlightening from my perspective, meaning that it's kind of beating a dead horse at this point by filling up even more information of what Dr. Jordan Peterson believes when he teaches things, being that I've watched every single one of his videos on his YouTube channel. I've watched all of his college lectures over the span of about a year, up until recently, actually. So I know he has become incredibly predictable, even though he's been incredibly helpful in, my life personally. So the thing is, it was actually really nice to see that a lot of people online, because I was reading about this for the last couple of weeks. I actually didn't know who Zizek is. Now I do know who he is, and I've watched a couple of his videos. I'm most likely going to buy a couple of his books and then probably dedicate one of the Sunday episodes to learning about him. And also Hegel, which is, he considers himself a Hegelian, I believe it's what it's called. Dr. Zizek does, where Dr. Jordan Peterson is just like Dr. Niles from Fraser. He's a Jungian, Carl Jung. So, it was actually really wonderful, being that even though I was kind of falling asleep at the wheel coming back, I've had a blast of a time for the weekend. I had a wonderful time. But it was very exhausting. That it devolved very quickly from going from a debate. Basically, they both pretty much agreed on morality. Even I thought it was weird how Zizek, not knowing only knowing a little bit about him, the fact that he was talking about the Bible and Genesis and using a metaphorical sense of the fall from grace and things like that, like what Dr. Jordan Peterson does. And as we were walking into the gym this morning, I was telling my part-time girlfriend that it's interesting and odd that Dr. Jordan Peterson also does that, being that he's not saved. And Zizek also, I'm assuming, is not saved. So, but kind of figured it out through study and research that Judeo-Christian values are the best way to basically run a society. But I believe he said in there that Winston Churchill said that capitalism is the worst system that we have to basically have a system for a country, but compared to every other system, it just wins by default because it's slightly better than, let's say, a Marxist society. I mean, really, depending on the situation as to how many people are in said area and who's running it, you could technically, it's like what Homer Simpson said, communism works in theory. Technically, I'm sure there are some areas in Europe or other places back when the communists were running things that the places were better to live in, as opposed to where they converted to capitalism through our version of democracy, where now it's just not as good. It's actually more depressive, but I mean, that's up for debate. But anyways, it quickly devolved from a fight into them just having a nice conversation for about 2.5, almost 3 hours. I watched, first I listened to like the first 2 hours, and then I watched the last 40 minutes or 50 minutes, like something like that. So, yeah, I thought it was really nice, because a lot of people online, like I was saying a second ago, assumed that this is going to be the debate of the century, because it's, you know, who most of civilization that know about philosophy and watch things like this see and understand that for both sides of the coin, these are the two guys, quote unquote. These are the guys. So, and it was really nice to see that they both actually agreed on very big topics. And the fact that it evolved quickly, like I said, and then even at the end, they were, you know, he was, Dr. Zizek was still talking to him, and they were incredibly friendly, even to the point where I would assume that they would be like, you know, really good friends. Like this is something I completely did not see coming. I thought that this was going to be a fight, and this was going, even though it was going to be civil, like what I've seen with him and debating Sam Harris, and when he was also debating Matt Dillahunty. So, it was actually really nice. I don't even think there was a point to tally a score there. I think they both won. It was very nice. I actually really liked it. A lot of good things about capitalism that got brought up, and a lot of things about Marxism that also got brought up. So, you know, that one of these systems is not a end-all, be-all kind of thing. So, you know, I actually thought it was very nice. I thought it was, you know, very incredibly productive. So, yeah, I guess that's just what my thoughts are on this. You know, I'm sorry that the video's not longer. It's just I'm pretty exhausted. You know, I've also, other than that, I've had a very, very busy week at work last week, not including Friday. Friday was actually pretty nice. But, so yeah, that's just, you know, my opinion on the debate. I would highly suggest that you order it or watch it from someone else's channel and then support these guys by maybe buying their books. But I would highly support both of them. And like I said, Zizek, being that I just discovered him maybe 2 weeks ago, I'm planning on buying a couple of his books and then going over information about him for this show to just get more of an enlightenment. There was a thing that he said that was really interesting about Heinrich Heinrich Himmler, that where he was talking about being a Zenful Buddhist in a sense when he was talking. Well, actually, this is going to be really complicated and take a while to talk about, but I'll just put it in a nutshell. He would tell the SS soldiers basically to adopt the sense of Buddhism, to understand that you may not be doing what you're doing when you're using a knife to stab someone in the chest to kill them, like to kill someone who was in the Holocaust or to kill one of your enemies, but to have it in the mindset that because you have a goal and a duty, that you're magically not doing it, but invisibly, like in its illusion, the knife gets up by itself and then stabs itself into the person, so you're not killing anyone and you didn't do anything morally wrong by murdering someone, like murdering an innocent person. That's going to have to be its own video, because I would have to get into like what he was talking about for you guys to really understand it. But I just wanted this to be like a kind of a quick video for today. So, yeah. So thank you guys for listening. Once again, this is Pastor Sean. Just my thoughts on the debate that I listened to today. Going to be getting back on schedule. I actually have 2 books that my part-time girlfriend has given me that I'm going to be reading for the channel. Not sure if most likely I'm going to be doing this next week or for the next 2 weeks. I still have to read Beyond Good and Evil and 12 Rules for Life, but she also gave me to read, because she gave me presents when I came over on Friday, The Master Plan of Evangelism by Dr. Robert E. Coleman, and Intercessor, The Story of a Life Lived for God by Norman Grubb. So these 2 books I will be reading for the show. So thank you guys once again for tuning in and listening. This is Pastor Sean, and God bless.